welcome to the Fairly Relatable Podcast.
It's like therapy with your best friends, minus the copay.
Okay, we're back. Thanks for tuning into the last episode. Today we're going to talk about things we will no longer be doing now that we're 40.
I'm so excited for this one because there's so many things I will no longer be doing.
Yeah.
You want to start?
Yeah, and let's, we're going to give a little bit of a disclaimer, right? That this is a work in progress.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're not sitting here saying we have it all dialed in, but I think it's important to know what works for us, what serves us and what doesn't. And if maybe, if you're not 40, if you're in your 30s, maybe you can learn a thing or two here. Maybe there's things you've already figured out doesn't work. You don't want to do it that way anymore.
Yeah. All right, go. Let's see.
Okay. I don't know why I'm out of breath. Probably because I'm in my 40s. Okay. So the first thing I won't be doing anymore now that I'm in my 40s, I'm not going to be apologizing to someone when they bump into me. Like, why am I apologizing? You know what I mean? Like when someone bumps into you and you're like, oh, sorry.
Okay, I get what you're saying here, and I understand the point, but I just want to know what you're going to do instead. Be like, watch the fuck.
I'm going to be like, watch it. No.
You're not. It's like a child and
What
they
about
bump
like,
into you.
What about like, excuse you?
No, what if they bump into you on accident?
But why am I apologizing for
No
that?
one's asking you to apologize.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe I just won't say anything and it'll be really awkward.
I feel like courtesy is just like, oh, sorry. Like, I get why you don't want to apologize. Like, you weren't in their way. They bumped into you.
I'm digging my heels in on this one. I'm not doing it. Watch me do it like tomorrow.
I'm fine that you're not going to do this anymore. I get it. You didn't bump into them. You didn't do anything to apologize for, but I just want to hone in on what are you going to say?
I might just say nothing.
You're just going to turn and stare?
Yeah.
What about like, hi, no problem.
That's really awkward. Like someone bumps into you and you look at them and make eye contact and go, hi. Not doing that either.
Ugh.
I think the deeper point is I'm not going to be, so I'm a recovering people pleaser and I apologize for everything. I think a lot of people do that. It's like, sorry. And it's like, why am I saying sorry?
Let me ask you this though. Do you think when we're saying sorry, we really mean sorry, or we just don't have a better thing to say?
I think I mean that I'm sorry that they bumped into me.
I'm sorry for taking up space.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a whole issue. Like women don't want to be taking up space, right? So we're just
sorry I was in your way.
Sorry I'm here existing.
Sorry I exist. I'm not going to apologize for that anymore.
Okay, I don't think you should apologize, but I still think we need to be able to say something.
Well, let's circle back to that.
You're going to
let me just think about it.
You need a minute?
I need a minute.
What would I want someone to say to me if they bumped in, or if I bumped into them? I would want them to be like, it's okay. Like, you did it. You bumped into me, but I'm not mad at you.
This is the thing too. So if someone bumps into me and they say sorry, then naturally I come back with, it's okay. Oh, no worries. Right. But when they don't say anything, they just bump into, and then I'm like, oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
So hold on. The story's changing a little bit.
Right.
So now we have some dick bumps into you and kind of gives you a look.
Or just like doesn't do anything. They just like bump into me and I'm like, sorry.
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm in the grocery
If
store,
they're
like,
not
sorry.
polite about it, then yeah, nothing.
Like, just like
walk
let
away.
it, like, yeah.
Let it ride.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I thought this was like a kind, like human.
No,
and you're just
we just don't know. We don't know what type of human they are, but I feel like we're on the same page now.
I think we are too. If they say like, I'm sorry, you're not gonna be like, oh no, I'm sorry. You're gonna just say, it's okay.
Right. Like a battle of like, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
But if they give you a blank stare, you're just like, and you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
So what do you got? What are you not going to do now that you're in your 40s?
Do we want to go big or we want to start light?
Wherever you want.
Let's go big.
Let's go big.
I'm not going to ignore my intuition.
That's a big one.
It's huge. I think we spend so much of our lives doing what we're told to do or what we think we're supposed to do and ignoring that little voice inside of us telling us not to. I don't know what you just did.
I'm trying to tell you to talk into the mic. Like lean in.
Wait, Kara.
I know I'm really good at like nonverbal hints at what you should be doing. This time was an awkward tap. And I think you're just supposed to know what I mean. So talk into the mic a little more. Here we go.
This is such a segue out of what I was saying, but you started knocking the I feel like I can't be understood when I laugh this hard, but you started knocking the table.
I'm knocking the base of the mic so that you like
I missed
notice
that.
and you're
I just
talking to the
thought-
mic. Okay, well, circling back. This is a big one.
It's a really big one, and I kind of forgot where I was. But I have spent, listen, as I think, okay, hold on. As a mom, I think I've always gone off my intuition because I just couldn't fathom doing something that felt wrong for my kids.
Right.
And I think moms have an intuition. They just know. Set that to the side. As a friend, as a daughter, as a sister, as a business owner, I think I've made so many choices based on what I think the other person wants me to do or what someone's advising me to do. And I will tell you, 10 out of 10, it never went well.
It doesn't work out.
No, it doesn't work out. You have to follow your intuition and that gut instinct.
Yeah.
Believe someone's energy. When you pick up on their energy, don't convince yourself, but I still struggle with this. How come I'm getting like a mixed vibe from this person and I'm uncomfortable, but everybody loves them? Like, what's wrong with me? What am I missing? But my intuition, it's really 95, 99% like on point. I can even tell if I talk about like the business side of things, I can pick up a phone, have a short conversation with maybe a potential employee. And from that, my gut speaks like this is good or this isn't good.
Yep.
So anyways, I think when it comes to so many parts of our life, when your intuition's talking to you, gotta listen.
I agree. And I feel like we could do a whole other podcast episode on like, how do we know if it's our intuition? I don't know. I have a hard time. Is it like, what does it feel like when it is it the first idea you come to? Or is it not necessary? Like, how do you know if it's your intuition talking to you? But we'll have to do a whole other thing on that.
I'm going to just give you a little quick thing, and maybe it's different for everybody. But for me, an idea is like in my head, and it's just there. My intuition's like, it's literally, I feel it like
in your gut.
My gut, and it's strong, and it's like a knowing, and you can't reason it away or shake it. You can make other decisions, but it doesn't falter. You still feel it. And you almost feel like when you're working against it and then you figure out you were right.
I see what you're saying.
Do you ever feel like that when you meet someone and you're just like, you don't vibe or the chemistry is not there and you just feel it right away?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I feel it in my gut, but I definitely do feel that. It's sort of this intrinsic like drive to just like recoil.
Right. And it's not just like a logical, I'm going to make this decision. You feel it. I think your intuition, you feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a really important one.
And for anyone who isn't doing that, start because it saves so much headache. And but listening to your intuition sometimes is really hard because it's not the decision you want to make. It goes against.
So true.
It goes against everything you want to be doing and where you want to be led or whatever it is, or whatever is easier for everyone. Following your intuition a lot of times means walking away from something that you're really hopeful about, or a relationship, or so many things. Following your gut can be very painful.
Yep.
But it's never wrong.
Right. And in the long run, it's the best move.
It's having faith in yourself and that knowing and making really hard choices.
Yeah. I like that one.
Lighten the mood. What do you got?
Okay. Similar to my first one. I'm not going to drink the wrong drink anymore. This is the thing. So like, I'm obsessed with Starbucks. It's not just Starbucks. This could generalize to like restaurants, whatever it is. I would for a very long time get the wrong drink. Let's say I ask for like a non-fat latte and they give me like a vanilla latte. For a long time, now thinking about it is insane. But I would like take the drink and leave because I didn't want to ruffle feathers. Again, I'm like the people pleasing thing. So now that I'm in my 40s, after and it's not just from having kids, but like that was a big part of it. And then going through the breast cancer, which we're going to talk about in the next episode. There's no part of me that would take the wrong drink. I would just walk back up and say, and see, I'd probably apologize. I'd probably go, I'm so sorry, but
you made my drink wrong.
You made my drink wrong. Right. Whatever. But I don't even think I apologize at this point. My goal, and I'm always I'm working towards this, would be to walk up and just be assertive and say, hey, I asked for da-da-da-da and I got this. Thank you. Without an apology.
Kara, when you said I'm not going to drink the wrong drink, I definitely thought we were talking alcohol.
Like roofies?
What?
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Dude, someone we know got roofied recently at a club around here.
Name the club.
Bogies.
Okay. Don't
Note
go.
yourself. If you live in the Los Angeles area.
If you live in this area and it's the only club to go to, be very careful.
And we use the term club loosely. It's sort of like I don't know, that would be.
An Ashley Madison hangout.
It's an Ashley. Ooh, Ashley Madison. Okay. I could digress all day, but I'm not going to drink the wrong drink. I'm not going to abandon myself in that. I'm just not going to do it anymore.
Kara, I have a question for you about that because you get mortified if I send back the wrong food. How is this any different?
I don't get mortified if you send back the wrong food.
Oh, you're going to say it's how I do it.
It's how you order your food and it's how you say it.
I will die on the hill that I ordered my food just like everybody else.
You can have that. I'm going to let you have that.
Okay. I just place an order. Maybe when I was like trying to figure out if I was allergic to things.
Dude, I am going to film us like going out to dinner.
If that means we get to go out, I'm all for it.
Do it. And we'll do a podcast on it.
But I agree. If you don't want to drink the drink or eat the food, don't.
Yeah.
Send it back.
Like if it's not
that's
what
okay.
You ordered.
It's first of all, it's their job, right? You're not telling them like it's fine. It's fine. Send it back.
This is the thing with people pleasing. And I think anyone that's listening that deals with this can relate. We tend to overshoot it. So it's like we go through this journey of, okay, I don't want to be a people pleaser anymore. And we tend to then either go in one direction where we're way too assertive and we become dicks, or we just stay really passive. So again, the goal, and again, therapist hat, the goal is to kind of meet in the middle where you're not passive and you're not aggressive. You're not passive aggressive, but you're assertive.
Ooh, passive aggressive.
Yeah.
That's a good episode topic.
Yeah. So what else do you have?
Well, I want to circle back to it being alcohol because that's what I thought you were saying, and forget the roofie part of it. Jeez. I am not going to drink the wrong alcohol for myself anymore because, ouch, I'm a wine lover. Wine tasting, wine clubs, that glass of red wine. I can't touch it. I haven't been able to touch it for a couple of years. And that's a grieving process for me.
It is.
That was like a death.
Yeah. Death of the red wine.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really happy little place for me, but the instantaneous cotton mouth and headaches I get from wine are not worth it. So despite what might be getting served, even though it looks amazing, I'm not going to drink the wrong alcohol. And I'm not like those headaches and the way you feel for like a couple days after drinking the wrong alcohol. Yeah. I'm not doing that anymore.
I think, and I literally had that on my list too. I think with alcohol, it's like friend or foe. It's this delicate dichotomy of, ooh, this is like fun in the moment. And then the next day it's like, shit. And it's miserable.
The older we get too, it's not even the next day.
Like the week.
It's really, I'm so sorry. I have a tickle in my throat. And I won't be able to think until I get it out.
Ticky.
Yeah, but so another one of mine to tack onto.
Sure. Tack it on.
What's the saying?
I don't know.
I won't drink too much.
Right. Well, that's really it. Right? Or is it that you cannot have, like you could not have half a glass of red wine?
Oh, no, I take 3 sips and headache. No, I can't drink wine at all. I can't drink a glass of wine. But in general, I can't drink too much because for me, I mean, we all know, right? If you have kids, there's no room to feel hungover because you're going to parent hungover and that sucks. God. You're still getting up early, whatever. But I get anxious and depressed for days.
Same.
And it's gotten to the point where actually drinking isn't even enjoyable anymore because I just know what's coming. So I don't really drink. Not
You
near.
don't. Yeah.
I really don't because I know how bad it makes me feel. But like not having like cocktails or a glass of wine, like it's a bummer. I used to really enjoy doing that, not over drinking, but even just like a drink or two.
Yeah.
But that's just something in my 40s that I can't do like I used to. I want to feel good the next day.
Right.
And I definitely don't need to like find a way to make myself more anxious. I'm really good at like a lot of anxiety on my own.
Like your anxiety has anxiety. My anxiety has anxiety.
Yeah.
Like anxious about being anxious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Okay.
The big one, the booze. Low-rise jeans.
I never did them.
Ugh, I did. And I still have some in my drawer.
You looked really good in them.
Thank you, but like no one needs to see my butt crack. I'm 41.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should be doing it anymore, but like when you did do it, you looked really good.
Thank you. And again, I still own Frankie Bees. I'm saving them for
when they
Presley,
come back.
my 7-year-old, so that she can have them when she's older.
Does anyone wear low-rise jeans?
Yes, and now they're pulling up the like thong straps. It's to me, I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone that does that, but it is horrid.
Just tell them not to do it.
Don't do it. It doesn't look good. It is not flattering and it's not a fashion statement.
What age are we talking about?
This is like 20s. I'm seeing it.
Really?
Early 30s. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's repulsive.
Okay. Next time you spot one in the wild, let me see.
Well, and it's a lot of like clothing ads and stuff, like I'll scroll through different clothing websites and I see that it's like Fashion Nova, which Fashion Nova is insane. Everything's exaggerated and crazy, but like I'm seeing this trend and I'm like, who's wearing that?
Okay, so that's the difference. You're scrolling Fashion Nova and I'm in like Gap. They're definitely not promoting that on Gap.
It's a really good point.
That's why I was like,
Gap mannequins have low rise with like thong straps.
No, they don't. I'm like Nordstrom's, Gap, Old Navy. So that's why I didn't know what you were talking about.
It's a thing. It's a thing. I don't know of many women in their 40s that are doing it, but again, like I'm not into it. To each their own.
Well, I don't know if they're into that. Like, I think there's other style choices. Okay. I am no longer, I don't care what time it is. I'm not going to bed with makeup on my face. I love putting on makeup. I've said it many times. I wanted to be a makeup artist. I wanted to learn about makeup. I have so much fun putting it on, and I love just as much taking it off. Yeah, it is such a good feeling to have a clean face, and the feeling of waking up with makeup on your face. Oh, right? Repulsive.
God, it like takes me back.
Repulsive, like mascara.
And like concealer.
Oh, I just honestly, there aren't many worse things.
It's so true.
So anyways.
Like, don't you feel like when you wake up with makeup still on, you've woken up like at a deficit? Like you're like
1,000
lower
you
than
might
baseline.
as well be hungover.
Exactly. And like have on low-rise jeans.
Exactly. I think they're
all a theme here.
There's a theme, but yeah, I mean, I don't even know the last time I went to bed with makeup on my face, but that's just a hard no for me. It could be 4 a.m. and I could be exhausted, but that makeup is absolutely coming off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Same.
Yeah. Wait, have you ever done a double cleanser?
No. What's that?
So a double cleanser is using one type of cleanser. It really gets the makeup off, and then you use your normal cleanser to wash.
Oh, yeah.
And it's supposed to be very, very good. I would break out so much when I double cleanse.
Oh, so I have a balm. It's a makeup removal balm.
Yes.
Right.
And I used a clean brand, and it was really expensive. And I thought I was TikTok told me to do it.
Oh, well, by all means, do it then.
Yeah. Instagram told you. Same reels. True. But it made me break out, so I'm really sad. But so now I still cleanse twice, but I don't use that balm.
Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Yeah. So maybe it's just use your normal stuff twice.
That's what I'm doing.
Double cleansing.
I like it. It's good.
Ooh. This is sort of along the lines of what we talked about in our last episode with Bobber. I will no longer, and I don't think I was really sucked into this ever, but I'm not going to follow the societal standards of beauty because shit, they change all the damn time. First in the 90s or, 80s, it was like the big boob, no butt. Then in the 90s, it's like heroin chic, like really like Kate Moss. Then in the 2000s, it's almost like an athletic build. And now it's the Kardashians, but now they're taking their butts out. So it's thin again. It's like my head is spinning. So I'm not going to try to conform to any of that. Not only because it changes all the time, but like, why should society dictate what I look like and my worth? You know what I mean?
1,000%.
Yeah. Like, this is a big one.
Did you see what I sent it to you, what Kim Kardashian wore to the Met Gala?
Is she breathing?
She can't be.
That's
she
not
can't
good
be.
for
And
her.
I know it's the Met Gala and it's extreme and exaggerated.
Right. It's like an art.
But people are still watching. But no, I agree. Have you seen those plastic surgery pictures where they'll put like a celebrity before and a celebrity after and they say, you're not ugly, you're poor?
Yes.
It's 1,000% that. And some people, the surgeries look nice, and some people, it looks horrible. But I think you're right. I think it's not about keeping up. I think it's about just figuring out what makes you the best you.
Yep.
And that's it. Listen, I could never keep up with all that stuff. We're just all different body types and
Yep.
but it is exhausting and it's really, really hard on self-confidence for sure.
Well, it is. And it segues into just the negative with social media that like, again, like the standard is shoved in our face and there is this crazy increase in like mental health issues, anxiety, mood disorders, depression, and especially the younger, because
that's what I was going to say. I wish parents would all rally together and say, absolutely no social media. My kids already know when you get a phone, don't even have the conversation with me.
Yep.
It's a like hard no. You will not. I don't care if all your friends.
Doesn't matter.
You will not be on there. I even have a hard time with how early a lot of my kids' friends are getting phones because it's just this whole thing where you want them to be able to communicate with their friends and kids call kids now instead of parents. Yes. But the idea of them having these electronics and these devices, it's just so hard for me. There's a new book out called,
is it The Guy?
The Guy?
He's the guy that talks about he wants parent culture to shift?
No, but that sounds interesting. There's a book out called The Anxious Generation. Pretty sure that's the title. And I'm almost scared to read it because I know it'll make me so anxious about what my kids are getting exposed to, but I think it's a very important read. Yeah. But we are causing so much think about the anxiety and the depression you get from everything that we see. Yep. You're talking about body types, right? And just so much more. My 3-year-old, my third grader, my fifth grader, they know when their other friends are doing other things and they're not included. They don't need to know that shit. We didn't know when all that was happening because we're just in our own world. And I see some of these text messages coming from such young kids and it's just too much. So body issues is a huge one. Yeah. And then that spirals.
And just to kind of add to that point, and then, we'll circle back, but there's this sort of, I know some middle schoolers. Okay. There's this phenomenon occurring, at least in our community, where there's this online social media network. So if you're a middle schooler and you're at any of the 4 middle schools in the area, if you're online and you're on social media, you are just by default in this network, and the shit that is going on, what's being talked about, what's being done at school, recorded and shared, it's mind-blowing. So yes, we will do an episode talking about this very thing and how to protect kids, because this idea of like, oh, they're 12, let's give them a phone and give them Instagram. You can save yourself as a parent, or if you have a loved one that's in middle school, you can save them so much unnecessary drama and pain. Just no social media, like none until they're what, like 16, 17, something like that. And that's what I think.
I'm going to say one more thing on this. It's okay to say no to your kids and have them be mad.
Boom. Yeah.
It's okay for kids to not get everything they want right when they want it.
Yep.
Actually, it's going to make them a better adult.
Agreed.
There's so much instant satisfaction that comes through these days and kids just getting what they want. Like, yeah, is it easier for us as a parent to have our kid have a phone? Yeah, you can just talk to them directly. But listen, I don't know the parents where they want to go.
Right.
My kids will say, I want to go to so-and-so's house. He just texted me. I'm like, I don't know his parents. Like, no, you're
Right.
not just going into homes where I don't know anybody. So it's really taking away that community too of parents getting to know each other.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Remember when you would call my house growing up and my parents would answer?
Your landline.
Yeah, a landline.
Yeah.
And then they would say, Jessie, so-and-so's on the phone, and they knew who I was talking to. Now I'm just like, who are you talking to?
Or who are you FaceTiming?
All of it.
Right?
All of it. So it really takes us out of the picture. And it is okay to not make them happy.
Agreed.
Because you know what's better for them.
Agreed. We see way further down the line than they do.
Yeah. But again, I think it's really messy because you want your kids to be able to keep up with their friends and be a part of the socialization, right?
Yeah.
That's happening around them, but you also want to protect them.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a whole other topic. We'll come back to things
we'll
we're
come
not
back to it.
going to do anymore when we're in our 40s, or now that we know better since we're in our 40s.
Yeah. And again, listeners, you might be younger, but maybe you've also come up with identified some things you're not going to do anymore. So what else do you have, Jeff?
I'm not going to prioritize cardio. I was such a cardio fanatic.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, it did absolutely nothing for me.
Interesting. Say some more.
I mean, well, can you relate, Kara? No.
I'm not a big cardioer.
Are you a strength trainer?
Not really.
What do you like to do? Dance.
Well, I take a dance class now once a week, but I do like squats and abs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was
So
never
more-
really big into cardio.
So I used to be, gosh, on a bike or a treadmill and just as much as I could do. But for a few years now, I've been doing strength training instead. And I love it because it feels strong and it's health wise. It's, I want to be able to pick up my kids and lift and build bone mass.
How old's Adam?
Oh, he turned 12 2 weeks ago.
Do you pick him up?
And Sydney turned 10 on Monday.
Do you pick them up?
I don't, but Sydney last night was very, very upset. So I did try to pick her up and I made it like 5 steps.
Oh, but at least you did it.
I did it. Ben can pick her up.
Okay.
Ben can pick them both
Good on
up.
you, Ben.
But they're big kids now. But I want to be able to be strong. Anyways, I like strength training so much more than cardio, just doing it.
More engaging?
So just no more cardio.
Okay.
Boring.
Well, I like that you've figured out what works for you.
And I shouldn't say no more cardio. It's just not it's not what I focus on.
Yeah.
Kind of a boring one. But anyways,
I get it.
Something I've changed. Now that I'm older.
I came up with this one the other night. I will no longer watch shows that raise my cortisol levels. I'm so sorry, but that includes Vanderpump. Oh, like Real Housewives, the Jersey ones, like, and I'm Italian, I get it, but when they're yelling at each other and like gesticulating and like going, it makes my blood pressure rise. And I feel like it's reality shows. It's like my blood pressure skyrockets all day as is. I'm not going to subject myself to that when I'm doing something that's like mindless.
So I agree with you. Those shows do make me feel anxious. I love them though. I don't know. I can't understand like being okay with that form of anxiety because I love them so much. And I do agree though that they do that. But Kara, you watch shows about serial killers.
Not much anymore.
And you're so fascinated.
Wait, that sounds really freaking creepy. No,
but there is a documentary out right now.
There is a documentary out.
That's what I meant.
Quiet on Set.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, you will watch very upsetting documentaries because you're fascinated. I mean, you are a therapist about like the human mind and but like that would raise my anxiety to the point where I'm not sleeping for 3 weeks because I'm so upset about like that to me, those documentaries that are way more anxiety provoking than like Real Housewives.
So if it involves little kids, I can't watch that stuff anymore. I could before I had kids, but let me just make something really clear. I would rather interview Ted Bundy than watch Vanderpump Rules. My anxiety would not, he's dead, but my anxiety would not go up at all interviewing Ted Bundy, but watching Vanderpump, I'd be like, like, feel like I need to fight somebody. But Ted Bundy, it would just be interesting.
Because you want to understand,
I want to understand the mind. Again, therapist, very, just the psychology of like antisocial personality disorder, sociopathy, psychopathy, all that stuff. It is interesting. He's a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong, but that type of setting wouldn't even bother you as much as some of these shows. It's like it's just like angst producing watching them. I don't know. I'm probably alone. I know I'm alone.
You're not alone. No. I get anxious watching it too. You kind of like hold your breath.
Yes.
But I think the other stuff, and I know why you're interested, like, yes, I don't want to say you watch pedophilia, but that documentary was interesting to you. And it was interesting to a lot of people. Right. I just personally I don't know. I just do fucked up things in my head where it's like I insert myself into those life situations. Yeah. I spiral with it, but those cause me so much anxiety that I couldn't do that either. Like, What are we watching? Peppa Pig?
Me?
Yeah, like, I mean, if we're not going to watch that, we're not going to watch that. Like, what is there to watch?
Seinfeld.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Curb Your Enthusiasm, The Office.
Curb, The Office. I did just watch the Holly Madison docuseries.
Ashley Madison.
Sorry, Holly. No, Holly, I think you're great. Yeah, Ashley Madison. I just watched that one.
I started watching it because you told me to, and I will keep watching it. I don't know how you watched it, but I watched it with my husband as we were going to bed. It's a really awkward thing to watch with your partner, with your spouse.
Oh, I didn't think so. I thought it was so interesting.
Really?
We both thought we were both just like, who like puts their photo and personal information on this website? Granted, it was like middle internet. The internet hadn't exploded as it is now, but who puts their stuff out there? Like, it was mind-blowing to us. We were like, what?
It's literally mind-blowing. Yeah. And then isn't one of the couples interviewed, they're still together?
They're still together. I don't know what I think about that.
I have to watch it.
It's interesting. Hey, to each their own, but
circle back to it.
I want to we're probably going to do a full episode on
but isn't the Ashley Madison thing the same thing as walking through the grocery store and seeing an upside down pineapple?
No, because the upside down pineapple means something with swingers, right? Ashley Madison.
So it
was about cheating.
But you're cheating with
you're cheating on your married and you're cheating on your spouse. The upside
behind
down
their back.
Behind their back, they don't know. Upside down pineapple is like, hey, we're all into this. This is like, we're all giving consent and we're into it. Let's have like a swinger party.
Mm-hmm. I'm really like early into the documentary, but I thought it was so wild. The slogan, "Life is short.
Have an affair."
Oh my God.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Monogamy is monotony or whatever. It's like, come on. Anyway.
Okay.
What else we got?
This goes back to how we were talking about boundaries, but I have no tolerance anymore for being lied to. Oh, talking about cheating. Being lied to. Just any sort of lie. Mm-hmm. So fucking exhausting to be lied to. Yeah. And to not know where you stand in a situation or with a person, or if you cannot trust a person, tell me what else there is to do with that person.
Such a good point. And I'm going to add to that. There's this thing with like omitting the truth. Like, I didn't lie.
No, that's a lie.
It's dishonesty. And clearly in that situation, the person has a very poor relationship with honesty and the truth, right? It's
even if it's out of fear that you're omitting the truth. And listen, I'm someone that struggled with being lied to or things omitted like by several people in my life. And I've just gotten to a point where it's enough. Like, I will choose myself. Mm-hmm. I will choose myself. If it happens again, 100%, I'm just not going to invest in friendships, family, colleagues, whatever.
Right. And that's where the boundary
or even in. Like if someone tells me it is almond milk and not whole milk in my drink. Like, I don't care who you are. If you're lying to me, I'm done.
You're dead to me.
Yeah. I just can't. I'm very passionate about that.
I
Can't
think
stand
it's
it anymore.
good to
It
be.
literally, I think it takes a part of your soul away from you.
Well, it does, and lying in and of that whole thing is depending on who's lying, right? Like if it's a random stranger, yeah, that's really annoying. But if it's like a close friend or like a spouse or it talk about, I mean, trust, the trust is shattered, and then it takes so long to rebuild that.
So long. And it's honestly, when you find out you've been lied to, it's devastating.
Mm-hmm.
It really is devastating. And I think I have a really low tolerance for it too, because I just can't lie to people.
I know I've always really, really appreciated that about you. You're like not, I don't want to say honest to a fault, but you are honest to where, what's the phrase for it? Like
Honest to a fault.
maybe because sometimes what you say is upsetting, or maybe it like hurts a little, or it stings, or it's sort of like, oh, maybe there's disappointment on the other end. But it's like, you know what? At least I know where I stand with you, which I think is part of why you and I have been friends for so long. We're very honest with each other.
Yeah. I mean, you don't go through a 30-year friendship and not have hard times. But I think transparency is just so beautiful and important. And it really lets you connect to another person on a real level, and you know where you stand, right? Like when you're honest and transparent and authentic with another human being, that relationship is real.
Yep.
You don't have to feel insecure. You don't have to question. You don't have to tiptoe. You don't have to analyze anything in your head.
Yep.
It's a real, genuine connection. And I think the older I get, the smaller my circle gets too, because it's really hard to have those relationships with people. And I just don't have a lot of interest in having just ingenuine relationships with people anymore, because it just, talk about anxiety provoking.
Well, right. You don't know where you stand, and you don't feel safe.
You don't feel
like
safe.
we want to feel safe in our relationships.
At the end of the day, I think every person wants to feel safe,
Yep.
seen,
Yep.
happy. And if you don't know if someone's being truthful with you, you just can't be those things.
No, especially if there's like a history of trauma with that, right? I mean, there's so much there.
I mean,
that's
not even an episode. That's therapy sessions.
I know. I know.
Okay.
I have like one more I want to share. Do you have more?
I have one more.
Okay. The one that I came to the conclusion, I was at a gathering, like a social gathering not too long ago. And I realized I'm not going to say hi to shitty people anymore. And when I say shitty people, I mean people who have shown me in the past that they're shitty. Like people that try to big league you at social events, or they like see you and don't acknowledge you. And they
acknowledge.
There's this weird thing with that. It's like, just be nice, like be a normal person. And so I was at the event and there was a person there, and I was like, again, the people pleaser in me wanted to come out and say hi and make eye contact. And I was like, you know what? No.
I know what event you're
And you know
referring
who
to. I do. And I want to say I felt like you had a very light bulb moment.
I did.
Where you were like, I'm
like not using any of my emotional energy on it. And it felt really freeing.
Good.
I felt good.
You know what? I think people put out the energy they put out and then get back with get back. And that's not your responsibility to fix. I'm working on that big time, trying to, even if I feel hurt by something someone else does, and then I'm around that person, I want to make sure they're okay. Right. I have a really hard time being like, you weren't considerate of my feelings, so you know, you've established we don't have to do that for each other.
Right.
I'm working on that. I have a really hard time if I feel like I'm making somebody, I don't know. Anyways, but no, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I think that's really big. I think we need to conserve our energy for those that need it, because everyone else is an energy vampire, right?
That's so true. And like you said, you get what you give in life. So if people are rude or unkind or unfriendly, like why am I, and that goes in deeper therapy stuff, why do I need this person to like me? I'm not sitting here like on this like holier than thou tip where it's like, I'm just not going to talk. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm a very friendly, personable, engaging person, but I think sometimes I take it to the extreme. So, and maybe listeners, maybe you can relate where it's like there's bending and there's bending over backwards. I'm not going to bend over backwards. I'm not going to kind of abandon myself and try to like get this person to like me and say hi when they might not. And you know what? That's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and not everyone's my cup of tea. That took me a long time to be okay with.
That makes me think, am I trying to talk to people because I want them to like me, even though they've done things to me that were hurtful, or am I doing it to make sure they're comfortable? I don't know.
Could be both.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. And why is it that we want the approval of someone that hasn't been kind to us?
It depends. It can go way back. Maybe there was someone in your history, like a caregiver or a parent or it could be anybody that you felt like they just didn't offer up the validation and the approval and the acceptance. And so you're like subconsciously trying to have a corrective experience with someone. There's a lot to it.
Wait, there's a lot to that, because I'm thinking back and I'm thinking I watched one person get validation from others, right? Like they needed that other person to feel like they're doing okay. And then I had another person who was saying, basically teaching me that my worth was found in like the eyes of other people. So I think I had it from both ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it transfers into being a adult working through all that shit, as we all are in our own way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really interesting why we do that. Sometimes I'll see another woman or man and they're just standing their own and it doesn't look like they're bothered by any of it. And I envy that.
You have that vibe too, though, sometimes. But, and, we're not, by no means am I saying, we want to just be these like cold, callous people. That's not it. But maybe a little less phased.
A little colder. Protect my own energy.
We're going to take the thermostat down a little bit there.
Yeah.
To protect. Yeah.
Okay.
What else?
This is just a really important one. And I've started it with my kids.
Yeah.
Young, and they'll thank me. I'm not going to go outside without sunscreen on.
Huge.
Well, I wish I knew sooner.
Well, when did you?
Like I've been wearing sunscreen on my face for a long time, but I don't think I got it put on my face every day when I went to school. But now I'm talking about like sunscreen on my hands when I'm driving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like sunscreen on my ears, sunscreen on my chest. Like if the sun is touching me, sunscreen on my legs, I am see-through white. But whatever, like I'm putting sunscreen on any part of my body exposed to the sun.
Right.
Because at this age, and if you're not there yet, lucky for you, but the age spots.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
wrinkles.
God.
And
nothing says like you're getting older than looking at your legs and seeing age spots. It's easier to like tackle the wrinkles, but the age spots, like that's a big deal.
Yeah, because then it's like IPL and
it's just all the things. But that's it. I mean, there's so many more.
So many more. And we want to know from listeners too, right? Like if there's something that you just know, it's now a non-negotiable. I'm not going to do this anymore now that I'm such and such age, or now that I've gone through this or whatever. Drop it in the comments. We want to know.
Yeah, I want to know. And maybe we'll do another episode about more.
Yeah.
All right. It was fun. Bye.
All right, guys, here's the deal. If you like what you hear,
and we know you do,
be sure to like, subscribe,
and write us a review.
That rhymes.